Who are some of the key figures or mentors who have inspired your work in leadership?
Okay. So, for me to arrive at my thoughts on leadership today, I've had to be influenced by a great many people. Some I won't even think to name, and some I'll name that you had never even thought of. But I would like to talk a little bit about some of the things that influenced me, and it starts, I think, early on with reading Walden by Henry David Thoreau. And it's a story of independence, of transcending kind of the superficial self. And that's extremely embedded into everything I do. It really struck a chord with me, either one that was just part of my nature and I didn't know, and reading Walden flipped that switch, or just maybe in terms of the influence of one human to another to say, here's how I've thought about this matter. And then they communicate it. I read it or learn of it, and it influences me. And so I think it started there with like, all right, the book Walden is about trying to get to the essence of the meaning of life. And I think leadership is such an essential aspect of a meaningful life. We say things like, the life you want to lead. Isn't that interesting? I always wondered why they would say that, because I always thought it, like in my head, I'd finish the sentence with the life you want to live. I mean, that's what would linguistically make sense to me. But instead, the saying is the life you want to lead. Yeah. And so Walden was about that. What kind of life do you want to lead? But then really more and more, my association of leadership became connected to organizational life. And that started in college, where one of our professors created a avant-garde class at the time. It was a leadership class. Whoa, taking credits to study something that was fun and cool. This is when the quality movement was coming about. And yeah, I mean, I don't think leadership was a serious source of academic study at the time. It was a source of interest. There were certainly thinkers about leadership. There were like someone like James McGregor Burns was a thinker about leadership. And then somebody I was really influenced by was a guy named Tom Peters, who he wrote a book, In Search of Excellence, and several books along those lines. And here he wasn't necessarily talking only about leadership. He was a management thinker, management professor. I mean, I'm talking like he was. I think he's still alive, and he's an engaging speaker and compelling. And he kind of in that leadership class, we'd watch lectures of Tom Peters as well, and that would just fuel me with this sense of like, oh my gosh, yes, leadership and doing it effectively really can make a huge difference.